Guys, the French government has just officially collapsed, and now the country is on the brink of nationwide protests. In fact, the French population is so frustrated with the government's instability and negligence that they are now planning massive shutdowns with the aim to halt the country's entire economy for a day, saying, "Let's block everything." You see, last night was unbelievable. France kicked out the country's 4th prime minister in just 12 months, leading people to describe the country as ungovernable. That is a wild sentence right there. And now, without a prime minister, the government has ground to a halt, forcing the president, Emmanuel Macron, to find yet another replacement. And now, considering the situation, there are also growing calls for President Macron himself to be removed, and his critics are saying that he is clinging on to power and he is unable to govern effectively. And honestly, tomorrow's planned strikes could be a breaking point in this tension across the country. So I guess I'll keep you guys updated on how it all unfolds.
France did not see what is happening in West Africa coming. So they find themselves at a time when they are very weak economically, when at home the population of immigrants is growing bigger and bigger. You go to cities such as Marseille, you find Algerians, you find Moroccans, you find Senegalese, you find Guineans, you find Burkinabe, and things are not happening as they used to be then.
France is now ungovernable. You better believe it. France is now ungovernable. The country that actually made its money from bleeding black people. The country that forced Haiti to pay 150 billion for their freedom. And one of the reasons why Haiti is still in the situation it is right now is because of France. France, the country that bled Africa, making sure that the countries that it colonized basically had to pay a colonial tax for being colonized. That country, you know, the country that one of the biggest slave traders in the world, that country has run out of money. They cannot afford to pay the pensions. They cannot afford the healthcare system. Literally, France is literally on the verge of economic collapse. And this is serious. France is in worse trouble than Greece was, except at the time the European Union was so powerful at the time. But now the European Union was weakened by Brexit. The European Union has been weakened by Trump turning against them. So now the European Union, they're just running around like headless chickens. They cannot even bail France out. France is literally on the verge of collapse. And coming close after France is going to be the UK and Germany.
Is it true most of France's financial wealth right now is still built on
$500 billion a year?
Wow.
From Africa?
From Africa.
Wow.
500. That's a lot of money.
And is it true that the deals are such that an African nation that has this deal with France cannot do business around the world with their natural resources without the first right of refusal with France?
First right of refusal is in
and they
France's
can still
hand.
tell them no?
Mm-hmm. They can still tell them no.
So if they've dug gold, coffee, cocoa, whatever, they go to France like, hey, you guys want this? And they say, nah. And they say, okay, we're going to sell it over here. France can still say, nah, you can't do that.
So insane.
And all those nations still run on the French franc, which is also hilarious because even France has
goes
the
on
euro.
the euro.
Exactly.
So wait, they buy money from France with their own natural resources.
Yeah, and if they don't
that's
comply,
not even worth anything in France.
Yep, and if they don't comply, the faucet's turned off.
Breaking news, France is falling. For decades, it lived off Africa's resources and power. But now, that empire is crumbling before our eyes. In just months, 14 African countries have kicked France out. Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Chad were the first to end military deals and chase out French troops. Then Ivory Coast and Senegal followed, closing French bases, sending soldiers home and cutting ties. Chad has ripped up its defense pact. Ivory Coast is removing 600 French soldiers, and Senegal will close its last French base before the end of 2025. This is more than troops leaving, it's France's lifeline snapping. For years, Paris depended on Africa for minerals, for military power, for survival. Without Africa, France is collapsing under its own weight, its economy sinking, its influence gone. What we are witnessing is history. Africa rising, France falling. The world will never be the same again.
I've been asking this question severally, that how can an empire collapse? The empire that has been up there for many years, over decades, how can they collapse? But I've come to realize and reminds myself that the West powers has been saying that the Africa can never survive without them. And we came with another a narrative. We have been always believing that the West empires can never survive without Africa. And now it has come the time where the truth has been revealed, that the West empires can never survive without Africa.
France did not see what is happening in West Africa coming. So they find themselves at a time when they are very weak economically, when at home the population of immigrants is growing bigger and bigger. You go to cities such as Marseille, you find Algerians, you find Moroccans, you find Senegalese, you find Guineans, you find Burkinabe, and things are not happening as they used to be then.
Because why only today or now these countries has to face these challenges, like a political and economical crisis? Why today, after they have clashed with the African countries, some of the African countries, and mainly the countries that they have been depending on for everything, for the resources, because all these resources that they have been getting from these countries in Africa are the one that have been making them to be where they are today. These are the same things or the same resources that they have been built up their economies. So we have to agree about this. The fact remains that the West powers can never survive without Africa. So now today France is collapsing, and France is not able to handle their people. France is not able to handle its economy. France is not able to handle itself in the political issues and economic issues. And why this is happening? Because this protest started immediately after France cut off the public funds, and after the prime minister announced the great debt that the country is having. The government proposed a $43.8 billion austerity budget that included removing public holidays, freezing pensions, and reducing health care and social spendings. This triggered a widespread outrage, and the France's public debt has been risen to about 114% of GDP, while the budget deficit is around 5.8%, both considered high by EU standards, making fiscal sustainability a major struggle. These people, when you go in France, it's not these countries are not like Africans, because there are some things that they have been used to for many years. There are some things that they have been used for many years, and when these things find themselves unavailable, then it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem, and these actions or these issues that are happening in this country like France, these are not things that we have been used to see in such countries, because these are empires, the great empires. They are very well organized. They believe in themselves. They know that they have made it, and they believe that that they have the final say, and no citizens can come out just like that on the street to demonstrate. But this is a worst situation that has happened, and we have seen thousands of people coming on the streets. They burn up, they block out the roads, they come out to fight against the police and the citizens. They don't want to see anything, that they are not ready at this time or at this point of time to listen to anybody that comes out of the government. So political instability and fragile governance has been the part of these issues that are causing all these crises to happen or to be seen in these countries. The government has seen several prime ministers within a short period of time, and now the latest prime minister was ousted in a no-confidence vote. This week, majority or fragmented coalition make it hard to pass policies. And as you know, once any leader faces this a vote of no confidence, then it means that he's not supposed to be in power. And President Macron has dissolved the National Assembly, maybe hoping that he's going to strengthen his mandate, but this instead resulted a huge parliament with no party having a clear majority. I only saw this happening in Kenya after Dr. William Ruto, the president of Kenya, dissolved his cabinet or his parliament and fired everyone. His cabinet, not parliament. But this only happened because of the power of the fuel and the power of Gen Zs. After they have bring the country in place where now the government was not able to do anything. The government was not able to control again. And the government and the people were out of control of the government. That's when he decided to do to do according to the will of the citizens. And now from there, a lot of things changed. A lot of things changed, even if it was never come out to the situation where maybe most of the people we've been thinking it was supposed to be, but at least there are some things that was changed. So when people are tired, when people are oppressed, then no matter how strong you are, but it comes a time where you can't control them anymore. It comes a time where now you lose dominion, you lose power, you lose control over the people. Because as always, we say that the power belongs to the people. So they have every right, they have every reason, and they have every tactic to make sure that they acquire or they demand all that they want. But it's sometimes just the people just sit down and watch over everything that's happening maybe in their countries. And now that's when the citizens or the leaders sit down and maybe feel like these people cannot do anything.
Is it true most of France's financial wealth right now is still built on
$500 billion a year
Wow.
from Africa?
from Africa?
Wow.
500. That's a lot
And
of
is
money.
it true that the deals are such that an African nation that has this deal with France cannot do business around the world with their natural resources without the first right of refusal with France?
First right of refusal is in
And they can
France's
still
hand.
tell them no.
They can still tell them no.
So if they've dug gold, coffee, cocoa,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
they go to France like, hey, you guys want this? And they say, nah. And they say, okay, we're going to sell it over here. France can still say, nah, you can't do
That's
that.
so insane.
And all those nations still run on the French franc, which is also hilarious because even France has
Goes
the
on the
euro.
euro.
Exactly.
Now the protest under movements like reflect a coverage of diverse groups, students, workers, teachers, plus the JAL and Junes, all opposing the government in one voice. The passion reforms, raising retirement age from 62 to 64, has been particularly controversial. Many feel it discriminately hurts blue-collar workers and women who have career interruptions. I've seen or I've gone through the comments and I've seen how people are reacting about this issue of France. And many people are speaking about the Sahel region. They're speaking about the great power of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, because we believe that these are the reasons as to why everything that today is happening in France, for everything that is being done today in France, we are believing that this has been caused by everything that has happened just past few years or months ago, since France started to backlash with the West African countries. And as you know, when France have been having all these reserves like gold reserves, minerals, the diamonds and everything that they have in their countries, they've been getting all these things from West African countries. And since these leaders, these military leaders, refused to collaborate with them and decide even to expel them from their countries, that's when the problem started. And that's why you see these people has never been ready to surrender to Sahel. They have never been ready to quit. They have been keeping to fight to make sure that they come back or they restore everything that they have been getting from these countries. But now, because the Africans has been ready to fight them back, they don't want to associate with them no more. They don't want to do anything or to collaborate with them, not in business or everything. And these issues became to be very serious when these countries of Africa decided now they want to look for the new friends, and they decided to do a diplomatic relationship with the countries like Russia and China. That means that they have decided to completely cut the relationship that they have been having with the West and France. So this has brought a lot of problems to France. And now these protesters in France or in the streets or in Paris, all that they have been saying is that they want Macron to be resigned or to get out of power, because he has been in power for a very long time. But all that is being done in these countries, the citizens are not able to access to many things from the government. The youth are unemployed. So these issues of the youth being unemployed is not only for the Africans, but I've come to know that it is affecting globally. It is being affected effective globally, because many people, we have seen many people even in US protesting, and they are still raising the same issues, unemployment. So how can these great countries like US, France, all these great empires, even those them facing such challenges? Because I believe that these people are well organized. They have packaged themselves well. They have been developed. They have everything that they can do to build up maybe companies and do anything, just to provide job opportunities to their people. But when it comes to the point where now the people have come to break up their patience, and now they are coming out to fight against the governments, now these are serious issues that if the governments of these countries cannot come out and handle it clearly, then we are going to experience a lot. And now, for me as African, I'm so happy or impressed to see all that's happening to the countries like France, because these are the people that have been seeing themselves like they are now everything. They have everything. That's why they have been just coming here in Africa to misuse African people, to mistreat African people, to loot African continent. They make African people to suffer. That the reason as to why today Africans are having a lot of problems. That the root cause of everything that's happening in Africa negatively. That the reason as to why today in Africa we still have the people who are suffering. They don't have any. Some don't have even their lands. Some don't have, and many people have even lost their life just because of France, America, and Britain, and all these countries. They have did a lot of things, and now I can say that this now a payback. They say that the karma is there and can pay, and it brings back to the things to the center. Now all that is happening in country like France, I think that these are payback time, and the karma is doing its part, because I always believe that everything today that is happening, when we go to the country like Burkina Faso, the country that today the world is speaking about because of what they have did in that shortest time under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore, this country has developed in a certain level that you can't even speak about it. They have did a lot of things. They have developed a lot of things. They have did the best compared to all these years. So France has been exploiting these countries like Burkina Faso and all these countries in Sahel for a very long time. And the citizens from this country has been passing through a lot. They have been passing through the hardship of life. They have been getting nothing in return from their resources. Terrorism has been high. People has been killed. A lot of things in humanitarian or human has been done in these countries. But still France has been coming out, take everything from this country. They go up to build up their countries, not knowing that there are some people who also need these things to survive. There's still African people like children who don't have schools, who don't have hospitals, who don't have anything to access just in a basic way. But they never bother about this. As long as they come and take everything they want and go back, take them back to their countries, they are okay with this. So now it is time now. Just take a look. Now the country of Sahel, The citizens are enjoying. The citizens are well satisfied from all that they are getting from their governments, because the government, the current regimes are there to fight for them, are there to make sure that they access to all basic needs that they could want, and they are peacefully in their countries. And now, when you go in the countries like US, in France, the citizens today are demonstrating every time. The government have no peace. The governments of these countries have no peace over their people. So things have gone vice versa. So that's why we always say that try to use things, or try to use to serve people in a manner that you know that even if you or your people can be served in that manner, then it can just be okay. So they have did a lot of things in Africa. They have caused a lot of problems here in Africa. So today, when they have they face all that small issues or challenges, they face these small issues. Now they feel like it's something great. So it is very shameful to see today that France is crying out. The government is unable to control their people. They can't feed their people. The economy has gone crazy. The debt is and now they want to come and tell us on how to be governed. They want to come and tell us on how to govern our countries. They want to come and tell African leaders on how to govern their countries, while they have been defeated to handle their own issues. I will not take much of a time concerning this issue. Just tell me to have the comment section. What do you think about these issues? The great empires are falling. The great empires that have been rising for many years, today they are falling. This is something that I believe that you never expected to hear, but that's the reality, that's the fact, and it is happening. It is not a dream, but it's a happening today. So the Africans are great people, and we are great. We are meant to be great, and that's why we are seeing the great people coming out, and they are causing wonders. All that is happening, the great empires, is like wonders. And this is all being done because of Africa. Before the backlash of French, US, and African countries, we never had such things happening. Until the time they came, the Africans they rise up and start to fight them back, start to defend and expel them from Africa. They have limited them from getting the best things that they have been getting from Africa. Now they are facing the wrath. Now they are facing what they deserve to face. So we are here to watch over everything that's happening, and we are here to celebrate everything that's happening in those people's countries, because they deserve this. They deserve to face this. Until next time, we come and speak more. Thank you for being here always. And I love you and I appreciate your support. Thank you.